Hey, welcome back everybody to another Friday live stream. So glad to see you guys all here. I was looking down at my phone, which is playing the stream here, and it said that I had like 20 seconds to go or something like that. And I was like, oh, sweet, okay. And I look up there, it says starting soon. I was like, okay. Whoops, I'm supposed to be streaming right now, so let me mute that real quick. Okay, awesome. Well, anyways, thanks guys for showing up to another live stream. We'll be getting here started momentarily. We're going to be starting a brand new image, which you probably saw in the thumbnail before this whole thing started. It is a park bench inside of a park, basically with the sunset. So we'll be going over some pretty cool live stream kind of stuff here. Or sorry, not live stream, but flares and things like that. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. This is the image right here that we will be doing. So it'll have some technical challenges behind it, of course. I will be creating this inside of Blender today. You guys can use whatever software you want if you guys will be following along. If not, just say hey in the chat and we can have a conversation as we're going about our day. But I'll be using Botanic specifically for all of the kind of grass and the trees and the bushes. And then the sun flare, that's actually pretty easy. This will just be a glare with like a lot of internal lighting to create the atmospherics here off into the distance. So we'll be jumping into that here. Yeah, without a further ado. Okay, so I'm going to start out with a cube here and we'll pop over to our scene and we will get started. Let me know if you guys can't hear me or anything like that. Pretty sure I've got the audio settings kind of nailed down now with OBS, but you never know. Things can get bumped. It might be too loud now for all I know. Let's see, we're going to go to pictures. Pretty sure it's this image here. And if we turn that on, let's get our opacity turned all the way up. And we will set the color space correctly. So right now it's like set as linear or something like that, so I gotta set this as 1886 and then we'll say fit to frame. This will be our shot. Now we just have to set up our framing presets. We'll keep 1920 as our well, actually I'll set this to 1920 for a Y. Then our X, let's just adjust that slightly so that way it can match a little bit more precisely. Okay, fantastic. I think really now it's just lining everything up and getting everything to work. I always like to use my 3D cursor as my like orientation spot. So I'm going to set this down on the ground here. Probably delete our cube and add in a plane. And now just grabbing our camera, if we rotate it, we can kind of align everything to be a little bit better. While at the same time, let's adjust our millimeters on our lens here. Probably something like that. We're just going to rotate on the Z-axis here. Just kind of line everything up. Again, this is very artistic, so we're just using this image as a reference in the end of the day. It's not going to be exact, but for our purposes right now, we just kind of want to line everything up so that way we at least have a good foundation for what we're trying to do. If I take that now, we can scale this guy up. This will basically cover everything we need. This is a pretty straightforward shot actually, so I'm not going to have to worry too much about modeling a lot of things today because we'll be using Botanic for a lot of stuff. But let's jump into this now. Okay, I'm gonna add that solid view here, and so that way got everything. Let me make your image over here a little bit better. Viewing environment. Okay, great. Okay, let's start with the park bench. I think that's probably something pretty straightforward. Just add in our, now that we have our ground plane kind of set up, we can just kind of project our cursor onto the exact spot that we need that to be, and we will start modeling this sucker. Last week I missed the stream because I was out camping with some friends, so that's the reason I was out that week. But we're back to our weekly streams now, hopefully. Don't foresee over the next couple weeks me having to miss out on anything. Okay, what I'm going to need now is, let's get rid of that cursor so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. I need to create this arch here, so we'll do that just by extruding. Oh, and we will adjust this to be median points for we can always smooth this out momentarily, so and we'll just mirror that. Now if we select these two faces, I think if we press let's select the bottom two faces here, the cross two faces, because I'm gonna be lazy about this. Oh, whoops. And these faces here. I think we just need to match this kind of like bring out effect on the one side. This bevel kind of stretch. That's totally fine. Okay, great. Now, selecting just the bottom face here, if we turn on this, which is like the proportional editing tool, if we grab that, we're going to want to scale that down. Kind of stretch this whole thing upwards a little bit. Perfect. Now we have that one arch done. I gotta look at some reference images of some park benches because honestly, this is not a very high quality photo and it's a little difficult to see. So let's turn off the floor here. Okay. For our purposes, since everything is just going to be mirrored on each side of this park bench, I'm going to mirror this. And we made, okay, actually, forgot that mirrors, you can't adjust them here. That's pretty lame. Okay, I'm going to move my cursor here, about, and then if we go to Object and then say Set Origin to 3D Cursor, it's now going to mirror across the origin of our park bench, or across the origin that we set. It's a bit far. I'm probably not going to need the park bench to be that large, so split the difference there about to there. Do Object, Set Origin to 3D Cursor. It used to be a shortcut for this, but they changed the shortcuts on the newer versions of Blender, and I feel like I've just been slightly too lazy to really figure that one out. Okay. Okay, great. Now that we have the two legs set up on the park bench, start modeling in the rest of it. For now, I'll just keep the mirror there, and we can make our adjustments directly to this side here. And if we extrude upwards, this will give us a second piece to work off of. I just want to select this face here. So we'll go back into side view, and I'm going to turn off proportional editing, and we're just going to, oh yeah, and turn this back to median. And again, we can kind of smooth all of this stuff out later, but for right now, we're just going to keep it as such. This is going up to the back of the bench. I think that's good. I'll probably make this go back up vertical again. And again, we'll smooth this out momentarily, but for right now, should be good. Okay. Save as we're going along. I think also I'm going to select deselect the front edges of this here, here. Let's deselect the bottom as well. I kind of want to just bring this in a little bit so that way it's not so thick on the back. I don't mind it being thick here. Let's do that. Okay, and then if we use proportional on the top, we'll select this whole thing. I'm actually going to make it its own separate object so that way I don't have to worry about others parts being affected. We're just going to bring that down. Okay. Fantastic. Now, if we grab both these, we're just going to join them together again. Select everything, and we will scale it in slightly. Okay. And now we've got the back of that seat done, as well as the bottom here. Let's go ahead and create the side pieces, or what were the armrests? Yeah, the armrests. I swear, when you're live streaming, it makes thinking and talking much more difficult. I'll tell you that. Let's grab this. Actually, we're going to keep proportional editing on. I kind of want to grab this whole thing, and then we're just going to bring that up just to match the height. Okay, awesome. Now, let's go ahead and create these armrests. We'll keep doing it inside of this. So we'll just duplicate that down. We're going to turn off, we're going to turn off proportional editing as well. And we're going to duplicate this piece here to roughly there. I'm watching my reference video as I'm doing this just so that the proportions are roughly correct. I'm going to now just extrude this out. Just rotating this down as I'm going. Again, we'll smooth this out later with like a solidify. I think that'll be fine for now. Okay, now if we add in a solidify surface or subdivide surface here, we're going to move this above our mirror. And we're going to add in some loop edges. If we do that, Control R and Control R here. Do the same thing for all these different pieces. This leg might be a little screwed up because we kind of messed with the topology ourselves. And again, for the top of this. Cool thing is that kind of gives us a bit of a bevel to work with. For free, we didn't have to bevel anything. And we could shade that smooth. That shouldn't create any problems, although it did. So we can fix that. I think if we go to faces, go to face, and then flip normals. How do you do that in the new version? Mesh, normals, flip. There we go. Mesh, normals, flip. Or Alt N, I guess you could do. Yeah. And then the only other thing is we're going to need to have edge loop there. Okay. Getting close. Let's create the these I don't know, plank pieces of wood on the bottom of the chair. Create that by just, again, primitives. So this one we will actually manually grab and move across. Cool thing is, we can use an array on this. So just move that all the way to the back. Add in an array. It's like negative. Should be fine. Let's grab this just to stretch out these planks a little bit more. Go to about there. We're going to fix our proportions here as well. Think if we take this, kind of just disable all that. Okay, if we stretch all this out, okay, all right. This is where we're going off book a little bit. Let's go in. We're just going to bevel these now. You can take actually literally the same guys here. I'm going to rotate these by 90 degrees. So that way we can use these for the back of the chair. And since I already removed the array function from this, I could just rotate these now and just match the back. Again, try not to think too hard about it. We're just blocking things out right now. Always fix things later. There we go. Got yourself a park bench. A little squashy on the bottom here. Let's join both those, and we're actually going to join that into our main thing. But before we do that, we're going to apply and apply. And so that way when we do join this, a little bit better. Select the bottom faces here, turn on proportional, and we're going to bring that down. Perfect. Okay. It's pretty much most of the modeling we have to do today. The only other thing, honestly, is we're going to have to differentiate between the concrete here. So we will technically have to model that as we're going through this. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to do this through some edge loops. Firstly and foremost, it's just an easy way for us to block everything out. The distortion's not going to match, by the way, unfortunately, due to the fact that when working on CG objects, there is no distortion in Blender. But I'm not worried about that because later we are going to add our distortion in via Nuke or whatever compositing software you use. So we're just blocking in our road here. I'm always more excited to see what these things are going to look like in the live stream. Or not the live stream, but the time lapse. Okay. Let's grab this face here, and we are going to extrude it. Just kind of following this path. Awesome. So there's our walkway, and from there we can start adding in our foliage, which there will be some overlap here. This is a tall ass image. Okay. Adding in our foliage here. Let's go ahead and do some of that. Again, I will be using Botanic. There are plenty of different resources out there for different types of grasses and as add-ons. Oh, frosted. It's a little wild, so let's do... Okay. Let's first start by putting down a cut piece. Okay. That's fine, because we're going to be doing things in layers. Don't need any animation. I know I'm not doing this correct, but I always just duplicate these things. I know you're supposed to use like a scatter ability or something like that. I've never got into that. How low does that go? That's about there. Okay. And turn off, let's see, extras, yeah. And we'll be doing layers, which will make this not look as patterny. We'll just do another plane. We're going to move this down. Double check the height on this plane. And we could scale that up. Let's start keeping things organized also. So Botanic at least keeps itself somewhat organized. Let's go into here. We'll call this layout. I'm going to create a new one called ground. And then our ground items, this one right here for instance, we will call this mud. Place that inside of ground, and then this one right here we will call path. Put that inside of our ground, and then under collections, let's create a new collection. We'll call this camera. Throw our camera in there. You get your own collection. Under our collection again, we'll create a new collection called lighting. We'll throw our light in there. I'm probably going to delete that later, but it'd be helpful to have it just put away for right now. Again, just kind of randomizing our grass. We're just doing our first layer of grass. I could probably use some kind of particle system to do this. I believe Botanic has a method to use a scatter node with inside of it. I've just never really gotten into it. At this point, I'm just going to duplicate everything. Great. One more time for over here. Fantastic. So now we're just going to select all of these and do the opposite for the other side. Kind of mirroring everything. Follow the path. I don't want to overlap this path too much. Okay, that works for me. And actually for future stuff, let's just do this. This will actually make things easier. We're gonna go into, we're gonna select our mud layer here. I'm gonna go into weight paint. And then we're going to use the drawing functionality on this. Oh, we might actually need some more vertexes, so let's just subdivide some layers in here. That works for me. Okay. Now we're going to go over into weight paint. And under weight paint, we're going to use the draw feature. We're just going to draw ourselves the areas that we're going to be needing. I just realized. deselect that. There is a back end to the that we didn't account for, so we'll fix that real quickly. Do that roughly there. I'm actually going to just duplicate some of our already created some grass layers and go back into our weight paint. We can use this weight paint for a lot of different things, but for our purposes, we're going to need it for bushes, grass, weeds. That way we don't have to do the manual work that we already did. So what I said earlier I could have done, which is what I'm doing now. So selecting our mud layer, let's go ahead and create a new particle system. We'll call this layer grass 2. Hair is fine. Let's use under vertex groups, let's select group. Should be fine. And we can actually select, we're going to add in a new particle asset. We will call this basic A. Basic A, add that guy in. That's basic A. Now our particle system, we can go and use, where is that under? It's under render, I believe. Yeah, it is under render. Okay. Did they move it? Where's this thing located? I don't think it's under advanced. Wow. I'm at a loss for where you can... There's no way you need to select advanced though. Am I dumb? Oh, okay, there it is. Wow, I am dumb. I clicked on it like 3 times. Let's instance our object, and we're going to call this grass basic A. And then we can adjust our scale, of course. But I think, is it collection? Just adjust our scale so that it doesn't kill everyone. Can't tell if this is working or not, so let's find under grass our basic what am I doing here, guys? What am I doing? Collection. I think it's sideways. It's weird that it's putting it sideways, so I think the problem is that it is a collection, so I'm not sure. If we have to go into our thing here. Okay, object, convert to, can I do it that way? I'll just do convert to, oh, maybe not. Let's delete that. We'll go to spawn object. We're not going to use botanic collection. We're just going to spawn it. This will create, wow. I know I figured this out the other day, so it'll just take a minute to figure this out here. This will save us a lot of time with the rest of our foliage, though. I rotate this Y, -90 degrees, and then press Ctrl A, and then apply all transforms. When I select the mud layer and I point it towards wild. Fine. This particle system has defeated me, and I don't want to waste my time live here, so here goes nothing. We're just going to spawn the asset. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way. If we go into our endless tree of, create a new collection. We're going to call this one what are these things called? Call them spring, summer. We're just going to select all our spring, summers. We're just going to keep these organized. So if we close that, let's create roughly a square here. Technically, I was second. Just saying. Just saying. But welcome, welcome all the same. Just gonna take all of this grass here. Let's go ahead and just duplicate it. And we're just creating layers on top of layers here. So, third. That to go off into the distance. Let's duplicate this for the other side. The idea here, what we ideally want, is to crash our computer. That's what we want, which may be difficult on this particular computer. Okay, now we got our second layer in there. Under botanic, let's create a new collection. Or, sorry, not under botanic. We could delete that. Under grass, we're going to create a new collection. We're going to call this Basic A. What is these guys? Cut grid. So cut grid, basic A. Let's go ahead and select everything for basic A. All of these guys. And we will just place that under basic A. So now we got that cleaned up. Turn that back on. Might want to save. Might have been smart. I may, I don't know, potentially. Yep, I crashed. It always happens. I just realized I'm in EV as well. So, make sure to save, guys. Make sure to save. Let's go. Recover, auto save. Should have this 1815. Yeah, that's fine. Save. Boom. Almost got me, Blender. Almost. I mean, technically you did. But let's not let that happen again. I'll copy all that over back to our collection there. Save and boot. Actually, select all of those. I think I accidentally gonna deselect. There we go. Fancy. Okay, great. Now in our camera view over here, let's jump to solid view. We're gonna start adding in. Turn off extras or something like that. There we go. Got our path here. For simplicity's sake, we can also just duplicate that. Duplicate it behind. Perfect. All right, great. Now we can start adding some shape into this. I know in this view here, we can see what kind of needs to happen. Let's just, I think, do ourselves a favor by bringing that in. Okay. And again, this probably do another layer of. So let's do that. I did say my goal was to crash my computer, so I'm streaming right now, Veeth. I'm live. I just got your text. Or I just saw it. So okay, let's go ahead and add in some trees. Let's see. Need this big main tree first. Kind of. Kind of like this. Just looking through the asset store. I never realized how many trees there were to choose from in this asset store. I think we're going to go with that one I saw up a little bit here. We're just going to have to rotate it slightly to get exactly what we want. I think this one. Click OK. And we will add that in. Booyah! Let's take this. We're just gonna try to match. I think if we had it over... kind of gives us our like overhang. I'm going to actually also duplicate and rotate it around. We just need it for back here. Don't mind how this physically doesn't make sense. No one's gonna see it in 3D. We're only gonna see it from the camera perspective. So just trying to get that to look good. Let's see. I'm gonna try to find maybe something like this. Do that over here. Do that and say randomize variant. Let's see what we get. See, creating forests and trees is all about creating layers. So let's go down. I need something that's a little more. There's this guy here, and I'm trying to find something that matches closer to that type of tree. Problem is I'm not a botanist, so I don't know all these things off the top of my head. I'm sure that could be very, very useful information. Let's use this guy. Need some color. There's kind of something in the background. Find. I guess it really depends on what time of year it is, right? Try to know what the backstory is that we're going with here. Let's do this. Maybe there's a dead tree somewhere. Like the idea of it. Deciduous. Let's go to coniferous. Maybe? I don't know. Okay, we'll do coniferous in a second. Let's just stick with deciduous now, and then we can turn off deciduous. That word. Randomize the variant. Spawn the asset. Okay. Kind of just trying to find trees that I think look good. Randomize the variant. Randomizing the variant also could literally just be scaling it down. Okay. We've got a lot of empty area here. It doesn't look empty right now, but it really is. So let's go into our plants. We're going to try to find some more bush types of plants. Let's do that through a lemon tree. How big are you? Not very big. We'll worry about small plants in a minute. So maybe this isn't the correct thing. Let's go to here. I know that I've seen some stuff in here, so we'll use this. Scale that guy down. Treat it more like a bush than a tree. And let's turn back on our deciduous so we can see kind of what we're working with here. Randomize the variant. Okay. Got like a wall of trees on the back end here. So let's try to get those. This will probably be more deciduous. Deciduous. Ooh, I love these. This is basically me. This is a live stream of Connor just learning about plants. Or not plants, trees, Jesus. Okay. Okay, and then let's see, let's try to get some of these guys. Let's randomize the variant on that. I swear someone's going to comment and be like, oh, these plants don't even belong together. Which, I don't want to hear it, guys. Do not want to hear it. Get those trees back in there. Pretty close. Let's say let's just duplicate this and need to fill in some of these gaps a little bit better. Okay, let's save that. Save, guys! Hit the save button. This is your friendly reminder from your friendly neighborhood save guy. Okay. And now the only thing I think is like right through there, just a little bit of plants. Also, I've got a big bare spot right there. Just take everything that we've got here, duplicate that. As I said earlier, guys, this will be an easier live stream. Spend a lot more time on shading and lighting on this one, so just kind of getting the blocking done here before we move on to that. Okay. Okay. Let's worry about this section. It's gonna be mostly just like way back there, so I'm not too concerned. Perfect. Okay, so now we got all that. Let's start setting some render presets. Under our render preset tab, of course, we're going with cycles. I'll keep this on CPU for right now. Let's just see what that looks like. I did hit the save button this time. Not bad, guys. Not bad. What, we're 30 minutes in? Just duplicating the foliage crap out of everything. Doke. We're going to set up our light now. I'm going to be using Atmosphere rather than which is a plugin. You guys get off of Blender Market. Not sponsored. Go get him. Very, very useful. I just froze it. But yeah, we will add that in here. Always gives the absolute most beautiful results. Okay. I think for this, does it show under material view? I don't think it does. Does not. So what I'm gonna do is under, let's go to Eevee. It's always easier to set these things up under Eevee. Faster results. As far as horizontal is concerned. Let's move the sun over behind the trees here. I think I'm going the wrong direction. Here we go. I like that. Let's swap over to cycles. I think it's a bug, so I always go to solid view first and then swap over to cycles, because otherwise it crashes my computer. I don't know if other people get that issue as well. It's kind of what we're working with, guys. Of course, we can customize our lighting. We just need to get our sky to be roughly in the right ballpark of what we're going for. I think let's just type in some digits here. Don't want it midday. Still want the sun about here. But I want the sun high enough where it's not like full sunset. Okay. The only thing we could do is let's swap to GPU, see if this is faster. Who knows? It could be way faster. That's good. Now we currently are using clouds. So let's try this. We're going to turn off Botanic for a second. Under our color management settings. Sorry. It's all fine and dandy. Let's see. Let's go here. We're gonna say -80 on this. Under our render settings, let's set this to OpenEXR multi-layer. That should be fine for that. Sky's being blown out. I think it's because Blender's color management's screwed up right now, and I'm not gonna fix that live, so we're just gonna have to put up with it, I guess. It's always aggravating to work with. Blender's color management is one of the most broken things. I'll tell you. I mean, I'm sure there's some plugin somewhere that like just magically fixes it, but I just haven't gotten it, so it's just annoying in the meantime. Every time I think I have it figured out, it breaks 2 minutes later, so it's like this is so blown out. I know that's not how it is in the actual render. If I actually rendered it and opened it up in Nuke, it won't be blown out, so guess that's just something I'm gonna have to deal with for right now. Okay, let's look at our photo here. I think we're gonna go for more. It's hard to make any lighting choices right now because nothing is shaded. So I think next up we're just gonna start shading things. I also don't like the under part here. There just isn't enough bushes and plants to make it feel like it's actually grown in. It just feels like trees are sitting there. So let's go ahead and take a look at that next. Only way to really fix that is let's go into our Botanic, spawn some more assets. Think not under deciduous. Let's go to shrubs. Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna go with this guy. Old faithful bush. Just going to randomize the variant. Randomize the variant. Duplicate. It's just a process of duplicating, randomizing the variant. You could also do this. You could do randomize. Oh, well, okay, I'll do that momentarily. We can actually adjust the shader. I'll show you guys that. This is a pretty cool trick. Just gives a little bit of more realism. No, not today. Hopefully no part 2 today. I don't want to do a part 2. I always add part 2 though on it, just in case. Because, or part 1 I should say. I always add the part 1 now just in case. I might not even have to do a 2-hour stream today. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's rotate that. Perfect. Okay, that should just give us that little extra layer of that. I think next, let's go in and we're going to spawn I don't want to do any flowers. I mean, it is a park, but there's no flowers in my park. Okay, let's do wild. Yeah, that'll be good. Just some long grasses. Just to make it feel a little bit more overgrown. Because the regular cut grass is fine for it's fine for just filler, right? But as soon as you want to have like just some more randomness in your world, so one of the cool tricks to do is, because everything is just going to look so uniform, we can randomize the brightness on an object. I saw a video on it this week and I was like, dang, that is such a cool way of adding more character and texture to your scene. Okay, save button, guys. Hit that save button. Your friendly reminder to save. Okay. Should work pretty well. I like that. We'll work on a mud path here momentarily. And here's the other thing. We're going to output everything with mats. So we can always make the sky whatever the hell we want it to be later, okay? So I'm not too worried about that. I'm also not worried about this tree trunk being white as heck, so we're going to darken that later too. Okay. Next up, let's add some rocks in. Because I think in our path, and we'll add some dips and divots and stuff like that as well. But, oh, this might be a good thing to do right now. Okay. Yeah, let's do this right now. So, we're going to start working on this path. One thing that I like about this particular photo is all of these kind of like wet areas that are along the sides. It's almost like shaped as it's going down. Very natural, very natural. Well, we can get that as well. So let's try to do that. Let's try to do that. First of all, I'm going to take our regular path that we have here, and I'm going to duplicate it. So we have our regular path. Let's just take that. We're going to say duplicate. And we're just going to call this water on path or something. Path _ water. Sure. Why not? Let's do that. We have no materials now anyways right now, so I'm not too worried. But let's take our path here, open that up, I'm gonna select everything, we're just gonna say subdivide, subdivide. Probably one more subdivide's fine. Maybe one more. I'm just thinking. Let's do that. We're gonna go into over here. I'm gonna actually set this to random. Let's make our water path visible. We will select our water path and we're just gonna move it down. I love that the water path is green, but the regular path is blue. That makes sense scientifically. Thank you, Blender, for making at the opposite of what our brains would think. Let's go into sculpt mode. We're just going to use the grab tool here in sculpt mode. Forget where that's at. I think it's this one. We're just going to... If I go to random colors on this, see what I'm working with. Basically want to create kind of a bit of path here. Or not path, but, you know, wet underside. I've got to be careful that I'm not grabbing too much. Basically just grabbing the sides here, and we're just gonna make them more wet than the rest. We're just dipping the sides down, guys. Just dipping the sides down. So let's look at a reference photo again. Not too much. That's good. Yeah, I'm just doing this from this perspective. Oh, whoops. I don't want this. There we go. I'm just doing it from this perspective here just because it's a little easier to see where things will eventually be going. If your brush size is a little too big, always adjust that as well. Oops. Just kind of shaping out this ground. This will help us later. Perfect. I'm gonna look at our reference photo. Okay, cool. Damn, this music's lit, guys. Holy crap. Pah. Okay. Just downloaded a lot of this music today, so this is all new songs. Oh, it ended. Okay, guys. How's that look? Get that look a little more natural. All natural. Okay. Only thing I want to ensure is that it's all the way over here. Just there we go. That way there's no like weird edge off into the distance for our photo. Alrighty. So this isn't gonna really look like anything right now because I haven't created any materials. So let's create our path material next, and then that way we can work on kind of the muddy water material right after that. Yeah, let's get started. So under the path, I'm probably gonna want to open up a new window here. Where are we at? We're gonna go to Poly Haven. They have some textures. Let's find ourselves a walkway path. What are we using here? I guess like a bit like, what is that called? A muddy concrete? Do they have that? Muddy concrete. Embedded concrete. Interesting. Maybe like a rock path. I think it's closer to a rock path than anything else. We'll add some other shading options into it as well. Let's just work with this for right now. Go over here, open up our shader editor. And yeah, we got path. Let's create this new material here. We'll call this rock path. And under our downloads, gotta find this guy. Let's open that guy up. Drag all these textures in. Oh, can you not? Oh, that's super lame, guys. Wow. It's rare for a Connor complaint on Blender, although I just gave one like 5 minutes ago with the color management thing. But holy crap, you can't multi-drop in files? That can't be right. Today I'm just complaining about everything. The trick is here, we're gonna add in a normal map. We're gonna go up to our diffuse here. Actually, it'd be easier to see. This needs to be plugged into the vector. We'll use a math node of available of 0 plus whatever used on the scale. Frick. I even hit the save button because I was like, no, I just did it. I just, you know, you don't do that. You go to solid mode and then back. All right. Autosave. Recover autosave. Please tell me. 1850. It's close enough. I have to create a whole freaking new texture. Serves me right. I mean, you're supposed to hit the save button every 30 seconds, guys. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Let's do that. Plug our displacement in. Save. Roughness into here and the normals into here. You know what I'd like is a plugin that could just read my mind so that way I don't actually have to do anything. Is that possible? I feel like there must be something out there that does that. We're going to turn off Botanic. I mean, that's the future of AI, right? Is the ability to be able to just think something and then it happens. What if they actually got it to work? Because right now AI does not work like that, I'll tell you. Under our roughness, let's actually add in a curves, RGB curves. Just gonna view this. Come on. Perfect. Let's change our scale. Somewhere around there is fine. We will use this inside of the vector for our other parts of our image. View this part of the principled BSDF. Should work fine. Save and bring Botanic back in.Maybe it'll crash. Who knows? It doesn't help that we have like a million trees in this thing. I'm sure that's not helpful. Gonna add in, I guess everywhere is pretty glossy, so just gonna add some more contrast to this thing. I do want some dry spots, or drier spots I should say. Okay, that's great. Let's select this whole thing and move everything back. Again, we could probably go in here. We want to add in a, I'm going to do a Musgrave. Musgrave, my favorite texture thing. Let's do a mix node and add that into A. I feel like if we mix color, that's what we want. B and A, full white into the factor. What does that give us? Let's do full white again. Now this gets plugged into roughness. Boom. Okay, awesome. That mostly works. What we do want though is this to be inverted. Let's see. Let's adjust the scale here. Something like that. Invert. I think that's fine. Okay, awesome. So now if we go over here, should work a lot better because it'll keep some of the spots drier, primarily off into the distance, whereas here is more wet. Okay, now. Okay, let's work on kind of the wet, muddy texture. We select that. We're gonna hit New. Call you Mud Water. Delete you. And go to Glass. Does that work? Just view our material. It's a bit easier for us to kind of know what we're working on. A bit of an easier way for us to kind of brownie, brown. Kind of works. Now let's do a transparent. do a mix. Actually, we need a mix shader. And we can mix both these together. Because the ground is under it, you don't have to worry too much that it's not going to have any textures under it, because I mean it has texture under it. So let's do that. We can adjust the brightness of our mud water now. See how well that comes out. A little better, and again we'll have mats. We can adjust everything in comp. Let's work on some of the lighting stuff. Actually, after we do our bench, we're going to create a new texture for our bench. This is going to be called metal, and then we'll create another new texture. We'll call this wood. It's the only two textures on this bench, so let's go ahead and open up our website here, and we can find some shaders that work with it. Wait, at 6:30 did I say, oh, we're gonna be done in like less than an hour? I think I'm an idiot, because that was already an hour of us streaming. I don't know why I'm just realizing now that I'm an idiot, because I've definitely kind of knew that from before. Gonna go for it, find some more worn wooden. Oh wait, no, this is for the back of the chair. Kind of want like almost a plank feel to it, minus the plank. Is that possible? I like these weathered planks. Then again, at the same time, it's like these are all my textures. Sponsored by Hertz. We'll go with plywood, so I always adjust it. And then we need kind of a metallic feel. Sorry about that. Dirty. That's a whole category? Holy crap. That's awesome. That's not what we need though right now. So let's go over to metal. Ooh, rust coarse. We'll go with that, because I can always adjust the color. Thank you. Okay, let's unzip these now. If you guys are interested, I think I put the texture website in the description below, so if you're looking for a texture website, definitely recommend. We'll start with a rust coarse. Is that what I'm on right now? No, I'm under wood. So we'll start with wood, guys. I think that's what we really want to start with. Drop in the diffuse, our normals, and our roughness. Doesn't look like we have a displacement, but we don't need one. So we'll plug in our roughness and our diffuse and our normal map, which we could do here. Add in normals. Should be fine. Okay, awesome. We are doing select all these planks here. and we can assign that. Now the rest of our metal. Let's go back into our downloads here. We can find our rust textures, displacement. Yeah, the displacement's here, normal's here, roughness here. Plug the roughness in. Into displacement. I think we can add a math node in, change this to multiply. Probably get something out of that. Let's swap this over to normal map. So that way that works. Okay. Our roughness though, if we look at it, it's pretty. I think what we want to do is have a math node into this. Oh, sorry, not a math node, a RGB curves. And if we view or plug this now into roughness, okay, and that's actually our problem right now is we need to have the coordinates map better. Could use UV, but I think if we use generate it might give us better results. Or we can actually just select everything and then just say smart UV project. Will give us the best results. Perfect. Okay. Actually, since this is just, I don't recommend this, guys, but since this is just from this particular angle, if you press U, you can also just say project from view bounds. Oh no, you can't. You might also be able to do guys, I don't want to unwrap this myself. This is so annoying. I don't want to mark the seams and all that crap. Wow, this is really not unwrapping. I'm just going to do project from view at this point. Oh, well, also I'm an idiot. I'm using generated this entire time. Yeah, from view bounds works great. I completely forgot I swapped that over to generated. Okay. Now that we're using that for our vector, let's actually plug this into all of our slots. I'm actually not adjusting the size or anything like that, so we don't necessarily need to do this because it automatically uses your UVs unless you tell it otherwise. Let's use this principled BSDF now. Okay, so that's our roughness. We can actually take this and then let's make ourselves some room. Take our roughness and we can create an invert node and invert and place that inside of our metallic. And that'll give it the metallic texture. Great. Now, I don't like this brown, so I'm going to add a hue saturation and we'll bring that down. And for our specularity, just bring that down as well. Okay, perfect. For our wood texture, let's add in a texture coordinates and a mapping node. and we can plug this into all of our vectors. I think we get away with the fact that the roughness is, like, it's not that wet, so, you know, I think we're fine with that. Let's go ahead and save. Zoom out here now. See what we're working with. Okay, we have the whole mud, but let's just let's find a texture for that. If we go to all, oh, I guess it would be under terrain. Overall, under our grass, coastland rocks. Interesting. Leaves of the forest. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Coast sand. I just think just brown mud works for me. I like this one actually a little better. Sloshy mud. Sloshy. Okay, now it's downloaded. I'm gonna extract that. We will create a new texture now called Mud of the Woods. Why not? Drop in our diffuse, our displacement placed there, our normals down there, and finally our specularity. It's weird they gave us a specularity, okay? Going to create a math node. Multiply again. Set to 5. Plug our specularity in. And our normal map. We can't currently see it, so I might just disable our botanics so that way we can. Let's add in a math node. Plug that into our scale here. Perfect. Okay. It's my new favorite method of oh, I need a curve. So that's my new favorite method of changing my scale. Okay, we're not going to really see this because it's going to be under everything, but I am thinking that what we are going to want to do is create some random patches. So we will do that. Got a little bit of time. Let's try some different textures out here. Veroni. Not like actually that familiar with the different types of texturing that you can use. Let's try to scale that up. I think that works great. Let's use a curves on this just to create it a little more contrasty. That works. And then let's see, let's use a curves of this, make it like super dark. That works fine. Then we're gonna just use a mix shader, or just a mix, I think. This and this. Oh, we're gonna want to actually to float the color, sorry. Let's do A and B. And then plug this into our Voronoi noise that we just created. That'll create some patches in our whole ground texture now, kind of breaks everything up. Again, this is like extra. This is gonna be under everything else. So now if we actually take this whole node setup, let's back everything up. Just give ourselves some more room. Let's plug this into our base color. And now that'll help that out. Okay, let's save and turn back on our botanic trees. Okay, that works well. Where is our light located? Let's take our point light here. I'm not using this for anything other than like what we would use for our lens flares. So let's go back into rendered view. Put that roughly where the sun is at. We go to our lens flares. Let's add in. Let's add something in. I think something subtle. I need the scale to be a little further down. I don't like these oh, it's the ghost that I don't like. Okay. Just look at our reference again. You can remove kind of these streaks. And if we add in on top of that, because we're going to just use advanced glow, and this time let's actually disable this. We're going to select our color of our ball basically, and if we change our scale down, we go to the glow medium. I think we can adjust the scale of these things. So like, let's go to our medium now. I think, can I adjust the transparency on this? Or perfect. So it's basically just two lens flares working together. Perfect. Then we can color grade everything in Nuke momentarily. I think the thing that I want to do for sure is, let's turn this off right now. We'll keep these on for the render. That way I don't forget about it. Save this. We're gonna go to our shaders for the grass. Actually, I might not be able to adjust these. Interesting. I thought I'd be able to. But it appears not. We're gonna do randomize the brightness, change brightness. And we will do this for a few of these. Change hue per branch. I'm just going to be selecting a lot of these. I thought I'd be able to adjust the actual texture of these, but I think Botanic might have that kind of stuff like hidden, so that way you can't screw with it. Which is kind of annoying. It is what it is. Spawn some assets in though. We're gonna add a little bit of like, do they have rocks in here? Yeah, they do. Just need like little pebbles almost. I'm sure this is gonna be way too large. Oh, no, it's fine. Let's just spawn a couple of these in on this puddle thingy over here. I don't need a boulder, I just need a rock. Pebbles. Just need pebbles. That may work. Let's go back into render view. Just kind of breaking up the ground here. Okay. Here's another cool thing we can do. We can. Let's turn this back on momentarily. We're gonna create a new speaker. What the heck? Didn't realize it's what would that be for? Can you even render audio in Blender? That's crazy. Turn extras on. We're gonna add in a think that should be fine. Let's go into here. We'll change the spot size. Change the intensity. Okay, that's cool. Let's save that. Over here, we're gonna go to World. Bolio. Okay, cool. Let's volume scatter. Drop in a scatter node. We'll change this to like 0.1 or 0.05, I think, and then 0.5, 0.6. Sure. Let's try that. Let's go to render view here. Probably have too much volume scatter going on. It's kind of a cool effect. I mean, it's not what I'm going for, obviously, but I almost wonder if doing this in passes is going to be what I'm going to want. Put that inside of our spotlight. Let's duplicate it actually. And we'll change this to sun. Kind of creepy, actually. Let's adjust the anisotropia. Okay. Well, this trick normally works, but I think it's not going to work here primarily because I'm using the other plugin. So the other trick is you can just create a cube and under our object, let's just create a new scatter, volume scatter material, and we'll call this fog and 0.05 or something, and then text should be fine. Let's hit the save button on that, and it doesn't have to be the size of our entire scene because it's only going to be affecting that area is what we really want. From here we will get our kind of streaks, if you will, from the actual sun that we have. If we go over to our atmosphere now, let's adjust this stuff. because we're getting it kind of like head on here, and I know the lens flare is going to be about right there. I can actually check to see where the lens flare is. We do want it to line up with this spot, ideally. So if we go to atmosphere, change the horizontal, it's 82.5. Let's swap this to like 86. That's better. Change our density to be like 0.01 or something. Something quite a bit smaller. I like the way that's coming out. It looks much better. I do feel like a lot of the other stuff we can kind of adjust. We may want to get like rid of some of these bushes here. Just see how that kind of, because we're trying to get the lighting to hit more so on that, the bench. But also cheat as well. So I'm not opposed to cheating, guys. Let's go in here. We're going to add in another light, area light. Go take a look at this. Just gonna move this back. Just trying to get that angle down. We can go into our actual light here. Let's go into the hex value of it. We just copy it. Grab our area light, move that over. Oh, you can't really see what I'm doing, but just gonna copy in the hex value. And if we go to render view now, kind of bring a little bit more of a source light to that area. I think that works for me. Cool. That being said, I don't like this area up here, so let's just adjust that. You get real nitpicky here, guys. Just go on forever. I think I gotta turn all these guys back on. Holy crap. Okay, that's fine. Go back into this guy over here and let's check that out. Just kind of composing this a little bit better. I hit a bunch of the grass elements, didn't I? Okay. That works for me. Okay, what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna render out and credit to my brother for this. I'm gonna render out a really low resolution version of this. That way I can comp it. And then from there, we can render out a full resolution version as I'm comping this guy. So let's just actually go into our layer settings. This will be the preset settings that we will be using. Let's do pretty much right now, the only thing I use anymore is objects. And I don't think we need materials. We'll do objects, and I don't need a normal pass. Normally I would do a normal pass if it's like a CG shot that I'm rendering for like a client or something, but for our purposes we'll just do that. It's already set to multi-layer EXR, so when I do hit the save button, I can just save that quickly. So let's wait momentarily. This looks like it's going to take about 2 minutes to render this out. I will open up our Nuke program. Again, Nuke is what I use to comp. You guys can comp in After Effects, comp in whatever you prefer. This might not actually open till the... Oh no, it's fine. I thought maybe it wasn't going to open because it was doing a render. So let's wait for this guy to finish. The idea behind this is going to be very low resolution. I'm rendering it out at like 25% resolution, but I can comp a 25% resolution version of the shot while the full resolution version is being rendered. Probably will take about 20 minutes since I do have volumetrics in here, you know, but that way while we're doing the comp, and then I can replace it later, everything should line up just fine. So if I hit save as, and let's put this under, we'll call this output. Did that not rename it? What the frick? Output. Can I not rename folders? What the hell is going on here? Output. Whatever, I guess. We'll call this temp01 or v01. That should work. Let's save as image. Before I start rendering anything out, let's just drop this in. If I go to, I forget where I save all these things, on a live stream. live stream? Oh, 18th of August. What the hell? That's fine. I guess we're doing this on our 18th of August. I didn't create a new folder. New folder. Temp. Let's take a look at this. The thing we're going to need to do now is we're going to use a shuffle node and then connect combine to all of our RGBs. Perfect. And that will work fine for us right now. Let's go ahead into Blender. We'll close this. So yeah, the only question I have, I guess we'll find out. Will crypto mat channels stay the same? Or am I going to have to create new crypto mat channels? Or like redo all the crypto mat stuff that I did? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So that's going to render, and let's go over here. The first thing that we're going to have to deal with here is the probably some kind of vignetting. I'm going to start separating some of my CryptoMat channels from our initial thing here. If we go look at our CryptoMat channels, I'm probably going to want to darken this guy here, so let's add a grade into that using this CryptoMat as our kind of function. Again, another CryptoMat. It's going to get sloppy here, so there we go. Another grade node. This time, oh, I guess nothing is the background, so well then. So what is everything? Can I do the opposite of everything? I don't know. I'm just kind of selecting everything here, guys. Oh, it added the grass all as one. That'll save us a lot of time. Okay, basically just kind of creating a mask for everything. And then ideally we can use this to grade specific parts of the image. For instance, we want to add some saturation in. We're going to use this, but a invert of this. Awesome. Okay. And then let's actually use a grade node. We're just going to shape the ground up a little bit. So if we add another CryptoMat in, but this time let's use a merge node because we do want to kind of shape this a little bit. Actually, okay, so first we're going to plug this into a regular ground part. I think we're just going to darken everything a little bit. And again, use another CryptoMat. We're going to actually bring the highlights down on this. Okay, great. From there, we're going to shape the bottom part of the image. So another grade node. This time, I'm going to add in a let's do this. RGBA alpha. If we use an edge blur on this, let's multiply, have the edge blur go for like 300 or something like that. It's hard because this is actually a pretty decently small image, so where we should probably reformat it. I'm going to create a reformat node in here. We're going to say new. Oh, actually, one second. We can reformat to scale. I'm going to multiply this by 4. 1620 by 1920. There we go. That's exactly what we wanted. Let's delete that, but this time we're going to add in a roto node. Add the mask into that. Let's do that. RGBA, and then add in an edge blur here. 300 should be fine. Good thing I caught that too, because that could have caused us a lot of problems later. This is when, like, when you start doing rotos and stuff like that, where it's pixel aware, that can create issues. So now, with this, I almost want this to be fine. I'm just gonna bring this down here. Okay. I think actually this might be going a bit far. We can always take these things, by the way, and then we can do a edge blur on them. Kind of help fade that out. Oops, maybe not that much of an edge blur. Same on this cryptomat. Disable that guy, I think. I've got to be careful though. Right now we'll just disable that. I don't think we need our saturation that high. Let's add some green in just to see what that's gonna look like. We should save this. save that into the actual correct folder, so that way we don't have any issues. It's hard without being able to actually see what things are going to look like in the final image, because it's just so corrupted in this version. Let's change the brightness on this. I'm like getting a lot of chromatic aberrations and stuff. Change the threshold also. Another thing we could do is for our mask, let's do a roto, because I don't want it to do everything, obviously. So, don't like it doing this part. So if I do RGBA and I say mask, invert it, will work better. I think that does that nicely. A lot of this is just, I'm gonna do this is getting sloppy. I'm gonna move this down. This is our post processing that we're gonna do after everything. So I just want to do all my grade fixes up here. Is this my path? Yeah. We want that guy. Another edge blur. We'll just blur that a decent amount. We can go in now and adjust the shadows under this park bench over here. Probably something like that. Adjust our roto slightly. I think the other thing we could do is we'll add another grade node. Let's add a crypto mat again. Okay. And we're going to want specifically this park bench. So let's select that. Let's it is definitely having some issues with that. I hope it doesn't have that in the final render. Just let's go take a look at that, see how that's going. Not bad. I love these like God rays that are coming in here. Very nice. I'm getting some like sharp edges here, so we'll have to fix that in comp. And the stretched edges on that. We'll fix it in the comp because I don't want to have to re-render this. Just, you know, it's gonna have to be what it is inside of the 3D file. This is almost done. Should be done in about a minute. So let's finish up what we've got going on here. Overall, I think I'm happy with this. Let's see. It's more of like a autumny kind of feel to it. We'll have to see how jacked up this crypto mat is. Looks like our render is finished. Let's save that. See how much everything transfers. It's actually quite good. Let's say what parts I don't like. Oh yeah, so it does have that weird hashy kind of pattern that's happening. Easy fix. Why is it doing that? Add an edge blur on. That's perfectly fine. Okay. That glow is too much. Let's get that and tone it back. I thought I was increasing the threshold. What was I doing? I like everything down here. Currently do not like lovely. Let's see how screwed we are. Okay, yeah, everything is... I thought I compensated for that, but I guess not. Oh, I did compensate for it. 1 second. Okay. Now, the only thing I got to do is this reformat node. Add in a dot here. Perfect. So okay. It's a better step. Getting closer. Getting closer. I'm gonna add that in there. I like that. I'm going to, with this this crypto mat here is the kind of the thing that's kind of screwing that over. Let's clean up our nodes over on this side. Because what I need this to do, need a merge node. And we just want to affect this top section, not the ground. And select that there. Edge blur that, of course, because why wouldn't I? Okay, so now that should work. Perfect. Let's go back down here. So now we're not going to be affecting this ground, whereas before we were. And it's very nice. We do need to fix some things, unfortunately. Let's see, let's go about that right way. I'm gonna add in a paint node near the end, before the glow. Let's just use clone stamping. We have to fix these lines because unfortunately didn't quite do that correctly. We could have caught this and then we can re-render, but you know, seeing as we're already like 2.5 hours in, or so, I don't want to keep this going on for too much longer, so we're just gonna Photoshop our problems away. And then the other problem is up here, so we can actually change the opacity on this to help blend a little bit better. So we'll just give the illusion. Okay. That helps fix that edge there. I don't see anything else that's like really pressing to be fixed. I kind of want to bring that chair down a little bit more. Yeah, that works. How are you guys feeling about it? Any final thoughts? Need maybe like a... I want it of that tree, but I don't want the whole tree. But we'll fix it. Let's add one more grade node in here. And let's go look at this here. Don't really want to affect the bushes or the branches on the tree, just that part. So we can add in an edge blur, but probably not blur it too much. We only want to affect the branches. Just drop that there, and I'm just going to bring down just these branches if I can. May have to blur this more. That's fine. Ultimately, in the end of the day, it's all about just kind of blending everything together. So that kind of just brings that down a little bit. So that way it's not so bright because it's just drawing your attention away from the rest of the shot. Let's see. Okay, and then kind of fixing that part. Like a fun little walkway, guys. Not bad. I don't know, I'm not thinking of anything else that we can do here. I think if we had more time, I probably would add some more like weathering textures to the park bench. We'll do like a re-render on that. And that could help. But I think for this... Oh, you know what it could have used? Damn. I don't want to have to re-render it, but I might have to. Nah, we'll fake it. We'll fake it. We'll fake it. I forgot to turn on depth of field, guys. I can't believe it. But we can do that in comp. So we're gonna add in a bokeh node, and we will just as a camera deep input. I don't have deep, but what we're gonna do is, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna view this thing. Make that out of focus. That's fine. Let's use a merge node. On specifically this area, I suppose. And an edge blur. And we will select kind of just this RGBA. And I have to blur the absolute crap out of that. And merge that back on top of everything. And then dial in our settings. Honestly, that works pretty well. Because for the most part, it's not going to be super shallow depth of field. We just needed a little bit. Just a little bit. That's enough to help sell that. Okay. Oh, reminder everybody, please hit the like button on the video. That helps YouTube understand that this video was worth it. I'll be posting the time lapse sometime this weekend. I think I'll post it. Yeah, I think I'll post it Monday because that's when I post my Instagram reel on Instagram. So that'll just replace the Instagram reel on there. I'll also post it here on YouTube as well for you guys to see. And of course all my other social media platforms. If you want to follow me on any of those other accounts, then feel free to do so. But thank you guys for joining the stream. I will be also posting this in all its beautiful glory directly to Instagram, so if you guys want to see it, zoom in, whatever, on there, then that would be great. But thanks for all joining in and watching the stream. It was great to have you guys here today. If you guys have any suggestions for future streams that you guys would like to see, let me know in the comments below or on any of the time-lapse videos. I check all of those on YouTube, and we'll go from there. But thanks again for you guys joining. Tongue twister right there. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys next